Guys, here with a new video for the channel. I hope you like it, and if you like it, don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment, and subscribe. Now without further ado, get comfortable. Let's begin. The 5 Supreme Gods would appear in the King's Palace at all. However, a sinister aura was felt all over the place that Daishinkan would notice.
Damn, these wretches have chosen the worst time. I don't know what it is that they want, but their aura and essence eminent pure evil.
When Daishinkan tried to approach the Supreme Gods, they would begin to attack him. Without allowing him to engage in a conversation, Daishinkan, when dodging one of his attacks, realized that the power with which they told him that blow was from another world. That's right, the simple blow, when colliding with the surface of the Kingdom of the Whole, would cause an incredible explosion. Daishinkan would take a little distance, communicating with each of the gods and angels.
My children and gods, we're under enemy attack of the Supreme Gods, and mainly to you, my children. I have something to tell you, and I hope I can see you again soon, since apparently this will be my last battle.
All the children of Daishinkan would receive such a message, including Kakarot, who was facing Whis. Kakarot would, upon receiving a message, someone neglected his defense, being beaten by. I'll finish you in the next attack. We will have waited for Daishinkan's disposition. How is it possible that the Supreme Gods are attacking us? Whis would throw a great attack towards where Kakarot had fallen, but all that power would disappear, being able to observe a silver hair as well as his eyes. That's right, Kakarot realized the situation in which his father was able to reach a state of calm, but at the same time a state of confusion, being able to activate the Ultra Instinct, but the power that came out of Kakarot's body was much more powerful than the power possessed by the angels, despite having trained for millions of years. Father, I'm not going to let you die. I'll come to your aid. I'm not going to wait for some damn orders while you die. Beerus, along with Whis, were surprised since all of the gods and angels had transmitted such a message, and if Kakarot had received it, it only meant one thing.
What that little Saiyan is the son of the great priest?
Upon receiving the message, it seems that he's a half-brother, but it can't be, since he does not possess any physical traits of ours.
But Whis, that Saiyan, he possesses angelic energy. Don't you remember what he said? That he even fought the Supreme Gods?
This should have a logical explanation, but it's not the right time. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of the All, the Supreme Gods would begin to seal Daishinkan-sama. Priest, you should have never taken your disciple into the world of the Supreme Gods. All of us have decided to end him, because at such a young age, he gives off that power. He is a danger to everyone. Daishinkan, while being sealed, was not able to do absolutely anything. However, at that moment, an incredible blow from outside was able to weaken the seal, and with the overwhelming power of Daishinkan, he was able to free himself with great difficulty. I will not allow them to seal my father. If they want to do to him, they have to go through my corpse. All of the Supreme Gods were surprised to realize that the warrior who called himself the disciple of Daishinkan was actually his son. It's a pity, but Daishinkan, I'm not an animal to kill you, seal, in front of your son. So for this occasion, I'll kill both, so that both disappear.
Kakarot, get out of here!
No, father. I plan to stay with you until the end.
Leave, Kakarot. I cannot release and fight with all my power if you're here. My energy can hurt you.
Kakarot, being about to leave Sorat, would get in his way. Daishinkan, being about to help him, he would be surprised to observe Sorat's head fall to the ground, and a large sphere of energy would be disintegrated. The 4 gods were surprised by the power that Saiyan had. Ymira, Savitar, and Reich, you take care of that kid, and I'll take care of Daishinkan personally, since he and I used to have the same power.
Hell, Aori's power is resident in an incredible way. Where is the king at all?
Daishinkan, I know you're wondering where the king is at all. But he wouldn't have come to this place without taking the respective measures.
Maybe you guys. How were they able to defeat Zeno-sama?
No one talked about beating him. Zeno-sama is a little kid, so tricking him was easy. The only thing that was able to take down his guardian stealthily.
Hell, in that case, we're all alone. But gods and angels are on my side.
At that moment, a general call for all the gods along with their angels to approach the kingdom of the All. Since it was an emergency, all the gods began to come to the kingdom of the All. It's a good plan, but before they even arrive, I must have already finished you. Because besides me, you're simple trash.
Don't get confused, Aori. We have the same power, while I have trained, which makes you think to not raise my power anymore.
You're right, Daishinkan, but look behind you! At that moment, Daishinkan, turning his head, was able to observe how Kakarot had been completely neutralized. That's right, despite Kakarot having an incredible power, he was not able to do anything against the three subjects. So, Daishinkan, do you want to confront me at the risk of your child dying, or do you want to give yourself up for your own free will? Daishinkan would lower his head while his lips moved a little.
Angelic quadrupling, Angel of the Specters, High Priest.
Aori would be sent to fly with an incredible blow that would make him collide with an exploding planet instantly. Daishinkan, with his incredible speed, would grant a blow to each god who had held Kakarot. At the moment, Daishinkan would observe his little son while he changed his strange energy in his palm of his hand.
My son, get together with all your brothers. That is to say that each one of you, the angels, among all of you, you'll be able to overcome this adversity. I love you, son.
Daishinkan would throw a great energy towards Kakarot, which would be teleported towards divine universes, while Daishinkan would begin to channel all his power.
Aori, how dare you threaten me with my son? Even if I die, I plan to take at least 2 of you with me.
The whole body of Daishinkan would begin to shine. Instantly, an immense megaversal explosion could be observed by the 12 universes. The angels which were heading to the kingdom of the whole would stop, since the big explosion would be able to be observed at a distance, and only the shockwave was able to cause great damage to the gods. Our father had sacrificed himself. The warrior who forced him to this must have been an absolute monster, but they have both died. You are wrong, my brother. My father has died, but the 4 warriors he was facing all are still alive. Daishinkan, while sacrificing himself, would communicate with each of his children.
My children, I'm sorry. Me, being the High Priest, has broken the most important rule. Do not associate with any mortal. You all have a younger brother, which is my son and Saiyan. I hope you'll excuse me.
The explosion would end, while all the angels were very surprised by the great revelation of his father. Meanwhile, in the kingdom of the whole, Aori was furious, knowing that the most dangerous being had been saved. However, on a planet very far from a universe unknown to all, Daishinkan would fall very badly injured and on the verge of death.
So I haven't died. This is a blessing, but I have to hibernate to be able to recover. I trust you, my little Kakarot.
Daishinkan would be out of combat while Kakarot had arrived at one of the planets of the divine universes. Instantly, if he arrived, he would be unconscious. However, for Kakarot's fortune, he had been found by Mikoshin. That's right, Daishinkan's mother, who would realize that he possessed angelic energy, taking him to a place on his planet, which he specialized in the recovery of internal energy. Meanwhile, in the kingdom of the whole, the 4 supreme gods would begin to meditate so that all your energy is completely stabilized. However, the most psychologically affected was Savitar. Damn it! How is it possible that he attacked me with such great speed? It was said that no one is capable of surpassing my speed, but for that priest, it was no difficulty to leave me like a worm. Meanwhile, with each of the angels, they were in the most inhospitable planets of the 12 universes so as not to be discovered. Hey, Whis, why don't we travel to the other universes outside of the 12? Mr. Beerus, that would be impossible for us, because the power that is needed to cross megaversal barriers is of another level. We would be pulverized. Returning with Kakarot, he would wake up from a great fright, accessing even the Super Saiyan Blue. Apparently all a nightmare, but he would be surprised to observe a warrior very similar to his father, but in a female version. Am I dead? What happened? Of course not, little one. You have only fallen into the divine universes. I am Mikoshin, and who are you?
My name's Kakarot. I'm a hybrid between an angel and a Saiyan.
Mikoshin would be very surprised to realize that an angel had been involved with a mortal, but much more was her astonishment to realize that her father was Daishinkan. That's right, he was her own son. Instantly, Mikoshin would hug Kakarot tightly, which he understood absolutely nothing.
What do you mean, grandson? Are you the mother of my father, Daishinkan?
So it is, little Kakarot. I'm Daishinkan's mother, but tell me, why did you come with those wounds? Who were the wretches who dared to kill almost my little grandson?
Those responsible were the supreme gods. They attacked my father while I was facing Whis, so I went to his aid, finishing with one of them, but between three they were able to neutralize me completely.
But where was Daishinkan? Where was he? Why didn't I help you?
My father Daishinkan gave me the perfect opportunity, since he was the one who sent me to this place. He sacrificed everything for me so that, for a reason, I want to become more powerful, to end every one of those
Those bastards, they will be eliminated by my dear grandson, and don't worry that I, the supreme high-level priestess, personally took care of your training.
I really appreciate it very much.
Before starting with your training, I want to raise your power to the maximum. I want to observe what is the limit of your power. Kakarot would immediately begin to raise his power to the limit, accessing the Super Saiyan Blue Phase 3, with which his power was gigantic. However, it did not compare with the Ultra Instinct. However, he was still not able to access that state at will. But despite this, Mikoshin would be very surprised. The power he possesses is amazing. At only 21 years old, he possesses the power of even being to have trained for millions of years. All this, she would say to herself. Instantly, Mikoshin would stretch out one of her hands, creating a pentagram on top of Kakarot's. That's right, Mikoshin had sealed 90% of Kakarot's internal energy, which would be very surprised. And this time, it was hard for him to move freely.
What's happened? Why is this happening to me?
In order for your energy as a Saiyan to grow much faster, you will have to travel all the way from zero. But don't worry, when I unlock your power again, it will rise in a way never seen before. Trust me.
Of course, yes. Let's start.
Kakarot, despite all his attempts to take the training to his equal, it was impossible for him, since he just was standing in an incredibly difficult, much more to dodge or launch energy attacks. Mikoshin, who was watching everything, was very proud of her grandson's power, since even her son Daishinkan had gone through that training, not being able to stand. You will be the prodigy of our race, the supreme angelic Saiyan. Meanwhile, in the world of supreme gods, a golden-colored stone would begin to rotate with incredible speed. And at the moment, the beast god would appear in his most powerful state, cursing each one of his other companions who turned their backs on him, despite having taught them everything about the world of the supreme gods. The powerful god Yashi was releasing all his beastly power, which was perceived by the four supreme gods, and even by the mother of Daishinkan, so it had been felt by the powerful Mikoshin-sama, who would quickly recognize that key. Wow! Apparently after millions of years, Yashi had decided to release the true power for which even our clan gave life. Flashback. Hundreds of millions of years ago, in the highest territory of the supreme divine gods, or better known as the gods of infinity, a powerful baby with white hair had been born. But at the moment of birth, he was able to kneel to 80% of all the gods of the divine universes or higher.
I am very proud of the power that my son has. He will be the true ruler of everything that I have built. He is the chosen.
But, Father, I'm your firstborn. This should not happen since the law supports me. I'll not allow a newborn to keep everything that by law belongs to me. Noah, which was the name of the god, would pounce against his brother. His father would try to stop him, but he was able to overcome his speed. However, at the moment of granting him a great blow, a powerful beast would form all over the place. That's right, he was the first Ozaru in the upper world and likewise his first appearance.
I don't know what I am, but I know that this baby's my master. I'll not allow any of you to hurt him. I don't care if you're family. You and I will crush like simple ants.
Damn useless beast. You don't know who we are, so you better get out of my way if you don't want to die. The gigantic Ozaru would not say absolutely, watching him intently, which the god, furious in the same way, launched himself against him. But on this occasion, the Ozaru would not dodge any of his blows, but the fists of Noah, who was in the ranking of the 5 most powerful gods, was being rattled, that's right, just by hitting the skin of that beast. His fists were bleeding.
You've been warned, King Beast, freeze!
At that instant, everything around him would freeze, and even a great pressure would be felt all over that place. That's right, the pressure of the beast god would be felt for the first time despite being only a baby. The pressure was able to make all the gods kneel, with the exception of one, who was the king of that world and the father of Yashi.
I realize that my son's power is impressive, and you should not worry because we will give him the best attention, and nothing will ever happen to him. I hope so, since the murderous essence of his supposed brother is true. He really wants to end Yashi's life, and I'll never allow that.
All this had happened while that god had evolved and was able to surpass all the geniuses of his clan, and far above his brother and father. However, one day an ambush infinite divinity level was his downfall, in which, despite Yashi using all his power, he was not able to do absolutely anything, was banished from 90% of all his powers. But despite only having 10% of his powers, he was able to become the most powerful supreme god, and even training the powerful Mikoshin-sama, who likewise suffered exile, being his main angel. Mikoshin, I really appreciate your loyalty to me. I promise that we'll take revenge on the whole divine world. Even my own family turned their backs on me. Don't worry, Yashi-sama. I'll always be there for you, because thanks to you, I have been able to achieve all of his power. Yashi, with his great power in the same way, but despite being in the mortal world, he was able to create alternate dimensions, and one of them would call them the divine universes, which Mikoshin and Yashi were the rulers. However, over time, more supreme gods appeared, so that at that moment, Yashi would offer to teach them everything he knew, until the most powerful god Aori betrayed him again, as well as his family. And flashback. Mikoshin was right. After all, one can't trust anyone, because they're simple worms. They're simple garbage. I intend to finish with every one of those miserable. Meanwhile, with Kakarot's training, he was able to master his power. However, without Mikoshin or anyone from the divine world knowing, inside Kakarot, Yashi's power was sleeping. That's right, Kakarot, despite being Kakarot's son, Yashi was able to grant him a gigantic power while Gine was pregnant. If everything I was able to see in the future is correct, this baby is the salvation of everything existing, and I trust that Daishinkan and Mikoshin will grant him the necessary power. Going back to Daishinkan, he was in hibernation, but the pain of your body would wake him up, because superficially, he was healed, but internally, despite having spent a few months of his internal energy, still in a total out of control.
Hell, I won't be able to recover if my energy continues this way. I have to do and fast, since instead of healing my body has been decreasing.
Daishinkan, with his whole body in terrible condition, would be able to perceive a little of the power of Kakarot, with which, using his few energies, he would be able to use the same ability to go to the same place. However, the power he would acquire would be much greater, since halfway Daishinkan would fall on a planet completely bleeding out due to his bad state.
Damn, I haven't been able to get out with my little Kakarot. Apparently, this place will be where the great priest will die.
But luck was on Daishinkan's side, because at the moment, Yashi would appear next to him, putting a hand on Daishinkan's chest and transmitting an overwhelming power, which was able to heal all Daishinkan's wounds completely. But in the same way, he was breaking every one of his bones. Priest, thanks to you, all these universes will survive. But right now, you have to master all that power, because Kakarot needs you. In case you're not with him, Kakarot will sink in a path of blood. Daishinkan, knowing all this, he would try to control the power as of place, but each of his bones was broken at every moment. However, after 3 hours of incredible pain, Daishinkan was able to control the power a little, managing to decrease his power, but still he was not able to walk due to how heavy all his power was.
This power is incredible, but aren't you the god Yashi? It was said that you were one of the weakest supreme gods.
It's what I was always made everyone to believe, but even my power surpasses the bastard of Aori.
I swear I'll end that wretch's life. Because of him, I'll send Kakarot far away. I just hope he is well.
Don't worry about Kakarot for now, he's fine. but you have to master all the power I've granted you 100% for you to be able to defeat the rebellious gods.
But you have the necessary power to defeat him.
That's right, but this power is for another matter. Right now, I don't know if I'll come back, but I'm grateful for that savior and successor has been born, so I can leave in peace. Daishinkan, before he could say anything, Yashi had disappeared with his great speed, being able to cross hundreds of high-ranking divine barriers. That's right, Yashi had headed to the world of the gods' infinity. The moment he arrived, he was able to observe his brother, who, a little confident after millions of years had passed, would transport behind Yashi, talking to his ear. How long about seeing you, brother? But I can tell that your power is still sealed. It's a shame. On this occasion, I'll take revenge for all that humiliations. At the moment that Noah would try to grant him a blow, Noah's head would be torn from a great blow, which had the power to finish with the most powerful infinity god. Ha ha ha! Damn worm, you're right. My power is still sealed, but I need all my power to finish with a fucking trash like you are. The whole floor would be filled with blood, while at that moment, all the warriors rushed against Yashi, who began to fall defeated one by one. Instantly, the king and father of Yashi would appear in front of him, releasing all his power, realizing that he had ended the life of Noah.
It was your brother. You're a murderer. Now I'll end your life.
Father and son began to exchange blows at incredible speeds. However, it was absolutely nothing for Yashi's power, which, despite having 90% of all his power sealed, he was able to humiliate his father, while all the other warriors were annihilated by the simple extortion of his fists. Instantly, Yashi was able to connect a big blow, throwing him to the ground. Ha 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 ha! What's the matter, father? Is that the power of the king of the universes of infinity?
You're a monster! You're the worst thing that could have happened to these universes.
I was your son! Now I'll die just like all of you. I don't plan to die without my family. Yashi's whole body would begin to light up with a great light. All the warriors, realizing that Yashi was doing, began to flee. However, it was impossible for them since Yashi had sealed the entire infinite universe. We will all die here, as none of you will be able to withstand a supreme infinite level explosion, as is my power. At the moment, the big explosion would be divided into 4 great powers, which began to destroy everything around them, and even ending the life of every living being in the multiverse. The lives that would disappear were even felt by Mikoshin. So after millions of years, you have found your successor, and for that reason you have finished the whole universe of infinity. But Mikoshin did not know that the successor of the beast power was her beloved grandson, whom she was training. That's right, since Kakarot's power still did not reach even 2% of its real capacity, Kakarot's power would explode when he was able to enter the Valley of Infinity. On the contrary, he only possessed the power of an angel and a Saiyan. Meanwhile, in all of Kakarot's training, he himself was able to master the Ultra Instinct to the maximum. Mikoshin-sama, I've been able to master the Ultra Instinct to its maximum power. I'm ready for the next training. That surprised me, Kakarot, but this time I will be your training. That's right, you should be able to give me a hit. Of course, if I want to avenge my father's death and become the most powerful being in existence, I'll have to try much harder. The new training began between Mikoshin and Kakarot, had started with which Kakarot wanted to break all his limits as a Saiyan. Meanwhile, with Daishinkan, he was also meditating in an alternate dimension since he wanted to overcome his limits. In the same way,
the mighty god Yashi entrusted me with all this power. I'll not disappoint him. I'll be able to master all the power, and I'll end the lives of those miserable.
Daishinkan would continue with his great training, which was making Daishinkan's power increase incredibly by possessing in his entire body the power of the beast god. Meanwhile, with all the 4 supreme gods, these had completely recovered.
It's time to start looking for that dwarf. Since knowing that his father had died, he must have powered up. We can't allow that.
You're correct, but how do we find it? We're not able to feel the power of that child.
It'll be better to destroy this entire multiverse, since apparently it has great closeness with the beings of these worlds.
Aori would begin to channel a large sphere of fire, with which he wished to destroy everything in his path. The incredible power of Aori was heading towards the entire multiverse of Zeno-sama. Instantly, all the gods and angels joined together, being able to form the Ultimate Warrior, with which much difficulty was able to dodge such a sneaky attack.
Wow, what do we have here? Yet another piece of rubbish has appeared.
I am the one in charge of finishing you, since all the gods and angels have decided to form a single being.
Aori, of a big blow, would send him to fly to a planet because he had a bad feeling. While the fusion of all the gods, he was not able to do anything. He would recover from the blow, and at the moment, they would begin to clash their fists all over the multiverse of Zeno-sama. The whole battle was releasing great slings of energies, which even reached the dimension where Daishinkan was entering, and in the same way Kakarot would realize everything that had happened.
Apparently, the last resistance, which are the gods and angels, have started in the battle, but I promise to bring them to life with the Super Dragon Balls. I have to control all this power.
Those miserable bastards! I intend to end them this very instant.
No, Kakarot, that's crazy! You won't be able to do anything! But at that moment, in the mind of Yashi would appear, asking him to take him to the Eternal Forest, as it would be the place where Kakarot will awaken his power.
Mikoshin, do as I tell you. Trust me.
But in the same way, you together with your son Daishinkan be the last resistance, because Kakarot will not bear to see everything destroyed. Mikoshin, trusting his king Yashi completely, would take Kakarot quickly to the Eternal Forest, in which lightning storm would begin to hit him in a brutal way. While as Kakarot began to concentrate, he was able to dominate every lightning bolt that hit him.
This place is amazing, but I can't waste my time, since my friends are in grave danger. I'm not gonna let the Zeno-sama multiverse be destroyed.
Kakarot, despite using all his powers, was not able to do anything to leave that place, which had an incredible resistance. Kakarot, without remedy, would begin to train to increase the power of his blows. Meanwhile, in the training of Daishinkan, the three-dimensional barrier would be completely destroyed. That's right, because the incredible power of Mikoshin was able to destroy it, Daishinkan would get into a battle pose, but he was surprised to observe his mother and the first priestess of all creation.
Mikoshin-sama, what is it that you intend to do in this place?
It's not time for questions, but it will be better to help all the gods, while Kakarot masters the power beyond one god.
How do you know my son? Is it because of fate's impact on your planet?
That's right, Daishinkan. The teleportation technique you used. I send it directly to part of my planet, but it's better to help the gods.
Of course, if Mikoshin-sama will be able to beat him, and so my dear son won't have to get hurt.
Both angels began to fly at incredible speeds, which, when they arrived, they were able to observe the fusion. In terrible conditions and on the verge of death, due to all the damage received in the battle, even their hatred and knows they shed blood.
But if it's the useless Daishinkan and the powerful Mikoshin, but currently if powerful, you have nothing, since our power is much greater than yours.
Little Aori, you are completely mistaken. If you think you have the necessary power to defeat me, I want to check it. Aori instantly rushed towards Mikoshin. He was amazed, realizing how Mikoshin just expelled a little of his power. His simple aura had stopped his blow, while Daishinkan would stand in front of Savitar and rake.
At this moment, I plan to finish with you without having been able to deal with the notice as I've done.
Daishinkan would keep his word, since both gods were not able to release any of their power. Being completely defeated by Daishinkan, and a large sphere of energy would be pulverized, forming part of the cosmic dust of the universe.
I didn't count on this result, but thank you, Daishinkan, for putting an end to those useless.
Instantly, purple-colored spheres of energy began to enter Aori's body, which was beginning to mutate a little. So much was the power that even a part of his face would turn a little red, while his power increased in incredible ways. Meanwhile, Kakarot, in that dimension, had spent about 20 years in which his power had risen in a bestial way. Instantly, Kakarot would release an overwhelming power, being able to access the Super Saiyan Phase 4. But in all the aura, the silhouette of the beast god included to that of an Ozaru could be observed.
This power's amazing! Now I just need to get out of this thing.
Kakarot, despite the great power he possessed, when trying to move, he would not be able to do it because his whole body weighed hundreds of tons, due to the new power which Kakarot was not able to control. Kakarot, a little desperate without knowing what was happening outside, would decide to master 100% of the power of his new transformation.
I don't have time to sit around doing nothing, and it'll be better to meditate as quickly as possible.
Kakarot would begin with his great meditation, and although each of the rays collided with Kakarot, they were not able to penetrate his hard skin. Returning to the battlefield, the art of Aori had exploded in a surprising way. with which he was able to even release a pressure which would not let both angels move freely.
What the hell? Your appearance changes drastically, as does your power.
This is the power of the supreme gods together. Now each of their technical powers live in me. I'll finish with you by the death of my other brothers.
Aori would begin to exchange hundreds of blows with both angels, which this time they were not able to do anything.
Because despite being able to observe Aori's blows, their bodies were really slow to try to dodge them. Mikosha would be sent to some rocks on the Kingdom of the Whole, but furious, she would get up expelling much more power, while Aori was playing with Daishinkan. At the moment, Mikosha would quickly join the battle, but this time the power of Aori had surprised them by tens of times, for which he would start torturing Daishinkan, using hundreds of energy arrows all over his body, which caused the great priest to spill large amounts of blood.
Damn worm.
If you confess we're your damn son, I promise to finish with both of you without any pain.
I would never do that. I'd rather you end my existence.
You get them from being brave, not knowing that you're trash next to me. Aori, with his great power, was directing his last blow towards Daishinkan, but instantly the fusion would get in his way, which was very badly injured. Aori, furious, was about to give a big blow to the fusion.
You're a cockroach next to me, but you've made me angry that I'll get irritated.
Aori, when directing his powerful blow, an incredible pressure, like his fist, was held with an unreal force, so much that it would break several bones of his arm. Now, he would quickly accelerate his energy so that he would be able to heal the damage, but he was surprised to realize that it was the Saiyan, but the pressure that he released was incredible. If I had to compare it, it would be said that Kakarot's power could be observed as a giant, while Aori's power seemed like that of a simple ant.
You've already caused so much damage to these multiverses. I've been able to get hold of the original power of the Beast God. Now neither you nor anyone else will be able to cope with me. I'll make you suffer in the worst way possible.
Kakarot would direct a great blow to the face of Aori, which due to the incredible power would be thrown thousands of meters, by which Kakarot would use a little of his new power, creating an angelic field over the whole place, and those who were inside were able to recover all their energies.
It's time, Supreme God Aori.
He even beat Yashi, the damn one who said he was called the first beast god.
So I'm going to end up with you, you cheap copy.
Attack me if you think I'm a cheap copy.
Aori, very furious, would start clashing fists with Kakarot, which in each shock of his blows left Aori very badly injured, who could do absolutely nothing.
What do you think about this? Nebula of Death Saiyan!
The whole place would pray to hundreds of rays, while a black pressure would spread all over the place. Aori, realizing that all this was a poison, would use powerful burst of energy with which he was able to clear everything around.
With those simple tricks, you won't be able to beat me. I'm a super god. A pathetic warrior like you won't be able to do anything against me.
But at the end of saying that, Aori's entire body suffered incredible damage since Kakarot did not waste any opportunity to cause great damage to his enemy.
Miserable! How is it possible that you have so much power? I can't believe it. Even Yashi didn't possess all this power.
Haha! Don't make me laugh. If Yashi-sama wanted to finish you, it would have been enough just one of my fingers, since his power is no competition whatsoever. So really, Yashi-sama used all that power to be able to exterminate the entire infinite universe.
I'm very proud of my little Kakarot. He's been able to even surpass me.
The fusion at the moment would end, appearing all the angels and gods, which in the same way were recovering thanks to the energy field of Kakarot.
Father, so that Saiyan is your dear younger brother?
You're right, Whis, but the power he possesses is amazing, as you can tell. At such a young age, he even surpasses my power.
But in the entire multiverse, a great portal would be created from which the great Zeno-sama would appear very upset, because none of his guardians would come to his call.
What's happening? Have you left me trapped in that dimension?
But Zeno-sama would realize this incredible negativity that emanated from Aori's body, but despite all that dark power, his essence remained the same.
You're Aori. You, along with the other supreme gods, left me in that place. Now I'll finish with each of you. I don't plan to let this stay like this. Great Zeno-sama, I implore you to let me finish Aori with my own hands, since this one has ended hundreds of lives and doesn't deserve such a benevolent death. Oh, it's okay, Kakarot. It'll be as you decide. I trust you, Kakarot.
Those bastards are so sure they'll end my existence, but if I die, I don't plan to go to hell alone. My final explosion will end everything existing.
Kakarot, while walking to Aori, thousands of catastrophes were generated all over the place, but which made the ancient supreme god enter into terror. It was when observing in the aura of Kakarot the first legendary Ozaru and the guardian of Yashi, Aori, when observing that wise beast that his end was approaching. So without thinking about it, he would create a small explosion to distract everyone present while flying all over the universe. I don't have the power to face that thing, since its power surpasses all kinds of power. But in front of Aori, Kakarot would appear, pulling him tightly by the neck, while Aori, giving blows, was not able to let go of the grip of the Saiyan. It's time, you murderer, to finish you! If you murder, you must be prepared to be murdered, so die! Aori would try to use a big explosion, but Kakarot, as if it were a beast, he would put his hand in Aori's chest, which, before dying, Kakarot would use an energy called Shinkan, which was the energy of the first gods of infinity, much more aggressive than Haki himself. Finally, all this is over, but with this great power, I have to be able to return everything to normal. Kakarot would rise to the top of the 12 universes, beginning to expel too much power, while the planets in each of the universes began to return to normal. Damn, this is too tiring! Legendary Ozaru, give me your power! Incredible power, like a gigantic Ozaru, could be observed by all the universes, making everything around it rumble. Due to the great energy change, it being able to restore everything destroyed by Aori. Kakarot would return to his base state after several months because its energy reserves were almost reaching zero.
My son is amazing. He'll be the one who reaches the maximum capacity as the Angelic King.
As all the gods and angels would make a bow towards Kakarot, which despite being in its base state, still emanated a great power. Oh, this isn't necessary, because no matter who I am, if someone believes that he can destroy the multiverse in which I was born, he has to first end my existence. That was how Kakarot would begin to present himself with each of the gods, as well as with his brothers. I could tell that at such a young age, you have an incredible power. I'm sorry for you in your previous fight to fight with the intention of ending your life. I didn't know who you were. Don't worry, I completely understand.
Great God, Supreme Kakarot, could you be my teacher?
I'm not good at teaching, but when you want, I'll have a match with you, Beerus.
And that's how Kakarot would begin in the same way to protect the great Zeno-sama and beings which threatened any universe and overcame the power of the gods. Kakarot was in charge. That's right, the presence of Kakarot had created a respect in several universes while fear in the evil. Gogeta, with the combination of Goku's cunning and Vegeta's determination, proved to be an unstoppable force. However, the fused creature did not yield easily, showing a resilience that defied expectations. Those contenders were at a stalemate, each pushing their limits to the max. Goku and Vegeta, in their fused form, began to feel the need to unleash more power to overcome their formidable foe. In a moment of perfect synchronization, both Saiyans raised their ki to the limit, and the atmosphere itself began to be distorted with the built-up pressure.
It's time to take this to the next level!
In a dazzling flash, the Saiyan fusion underwent an astonishing metamorphosis. His once golden hair now turned sapphire blue, and his aura took on a heavenly hue. The transformation to Super Saiyan Blue had taken place. The fused creature recoiled momentarily as it witnessed the new form. Shocked by the magnitude of the power unleashed, however, the Saiyan fusion showed no mercy and lunged towards with dizzying speed.
Prepare for true Saiyan strength!
The attacks and counterattacks reached a speed that defied perception. The fused creature, despite its previous endurance, was outmatched by the speed and aggressiveness of the Saiyan fusion in its Super Saiyan Blue form. The battle had not yet come to an end. In a final attempt to resist, the fused creature unleashed its own dark power, enveloping the Saiyan fusion in a spiral of chaotic energy. Gogeta, in response, concentrated his energy to the maximum in an act of rage.
Let's go farther!
The energy surrounding the Saiyan fusion intensified and exploded in a dazzling burst. The bright blue aura became more intense, and the power of the Saiyan fusion increased to unimaginable levels. The sky lit up with glows and waves of energy as the fused creature faced Gogeta's unstoppable strength. However, in an unexpected twist, the creature began to build up a dark and sinister energy, revealing a hidden power.
Your resistance is impressive, Saiyans, but you have not seen my true potential.
The fused creature transformed, its fusion distorting further. A black aura filled with malevolence surrounded its body as its eyes glowed with terrifying intensity.
What the hell is it doing?
The fused creature, now imbued with a new dark power, lunged at Gogeta with surprising speed. Despite Gogeta's formidable strength in his Super Saiyan Blue form, the fused creature seemed to be able to anticipate even more.
Now you'll experience true darkness.
Gogeta sensed the threat, deciding to take his own power to the extreme. In a blink of an eye, he activated the technique, the Kaioken. His blue aura multiplied into a mixture of blue and red, and the intensity of the battle reached levels never seen before.
It's time to put an end to this! Kaioken!
Gogeta's speed and strength multiplied exponentially, and the fused creature was momentarily caught off guard. However, the creature counterattacked with a blast of dark energy that enveloped Gogeta, but he struggled to resist. Gogeta, in his Kaioken state, felt the need to raise his power even higher. Thus, his ki increased, causing the earth to tremble from such immense power, destroying mountains and lifting rocks into the skies. At that precise moment, he disappeared from the sight of the fused creature, appearing from behind and creating a glowing bluish sphere of energy that materialized between his hands.
Final Kamehameha!
The energy sphere impacted against the fused creature with unparalleled force. The resulting explosion lit up the sky, dispersed the creature's dark energy. However, when the light faded, the fused creature emerged once again, albeit visibly weakened.
Do not underestimate my power, Saiyans. I have attained a form beyond your comprehension.
Gogeta, sensing the gravity of the situation, prepared for the next confrontation. The battle, far from over, was entering even more dangerous terrain, with the fate of the universe hanging in the balance in this fierce struggle between light and darkness. The battlefield was plunged into utter chaos, with destructive shockwaves reverberating throughout space. Gogeta, with his combined aura of Super Saiyan Blue and Kaioken, was moving at speeds that defied perception. The fused creature, despite his new enhanced form, was momentarily outmatched by the Saiyan warrior's speed.
Darkness cannot defeat light! It's time to seal your fate!
Though weakened, the fused creature did not give up. With impressive speed, it lunged towards Gogeta, unleashing a series of dark attacks that even defied the Kaioken's speed.
Your light is but a fleeting glimmer. In the eternity of darkness, you will suffer.
Gogeta, with sharp reflexes at precise moments, will dodge the fused creature's attacks. The battle reached an even greater frenzy, with a clash of fists and kicks creating waves of energy that swept the surrounding landscape. The once dark and stormy sky were illuminated by the flashes on the contest. In the beginning of the moment of opportunity, Gogeta channeled the Kaioken to an even higher level. His aura became more intense, mixing blue with red in a dazzling display. Seeing the new burst of power, the fused creature recoiled momentarily, a moment Gogeta took advantage of to gather energy.
This is the limit of your darkness! Prepare for the end!
Gogeta, with unmatched speed, appeared in front of the fused creature, concentrating his energy to a single point. A glowing sphere of energy formed between his hands, but this time, the sphere was not blue, it was a mixture of colors. A fusion of the power of Super Saiyan Blue and Kaioken.
Kaioken 20 times! Final Kamehameha!
The now larger, more powerful energy sphere hurled with impressive speed towards the fused creature. The resulting explosion illuminated the entire horizon, causing the mountains and valleys to be enveloped in a dazzling glow. When the light faded, the fused creature lay defeated on the ground. Its dark aura completely dissipated. Gogeta, with his Super Saiyan Blue form and Kaioken still activated, watched cautiously. The intense battle had come to an end, but the price of the confrontation was reflected in the devastated earth and the wear and tear visible on the Saiyan warrior.
I hope that was enough. This universe can't take any more of this destruction.
With a flash, Gogeta deactivated the Kaioken and returned to his base form. As silence descended over the battlefield, the lingering question was whether the threat had truly been eliminated or if there was still challenges to be faced in the vast cosmos. Goku and Vegeta, feeling that the threat had been neutralized for the moment, separated from the Saiyan fusion. The intensity of the battle had left both Saiyans exhausted, but their attention was diverted to a disturbing reality. In the corner of their vision, they watched as a small dark creature made its way towards where Gohan and Broly were standing.
Vegeta, something's happening! We must get there fast!
Those two are in trouble if that thing gets to them. Let's go, Goku! Both Saiyans, despite their exhaustion, dashed towards Gohan and Broly's location with as much speed as possible. As they approached, they could see the dark creature getting closer and closer to the two warriors. Gohan, who was training with Broly in an attempt to increase his skills, noticed Goku and Vegeta's arrival urgently.
Dad! Vegeta! Something's coming!
Broly, with his piercing gaze, had also sensed the approaching threat.
Evil creature, we will fight!
The small dark creature, noticing the presence of the Saiyans, stopped advancing and displayed a malevolent laugh.
Ha ha ha! Your victory was short-lived. This is only the first of many surprises.
Before they could react, the dark creature split into multiple smaller shadows, surrounding Gohan and Broly with astonishing speed.
Watch out, Broly! They're fast and dangerous!
We will fight! We won't let them defeat us!
Goku and Vegeta, arriving just in time, joined the battle. The battle became a chaotic dance of blows and explosions as the Saiyans fought the dark shadows that multiplied endlessly.
Let's finish this quickly! Gohan, Broly, stay strong!
Got it, Vegeta!
Broly, unleashing his titanic power, emitted a wave of energy that temporarily dispersed the dark shadows. However, the dark creature, in a final act of desperation, merged back into a larger, more powerful form.
My shadows cannot be so easily defeated. The real battle has just begun.
The shadow creature, now strengthened and more menacing than ever, faced the four Saiyan warriors with palpable malevolence. Gohan, Broly, Goku, and Vegeta moved into battle stance, facing the shadow creature with determination.
Come on, guys! Let's work together and put an end to this menace once and for all!
Broly growled in agreement, his power emanating from him with an imposing force. Goku and Vegeta, despite their earlier exhaustion, raised their energies ready for the battle ahead. The shadow creature, with a sinister laugh, lunged towards them with surprising speed. The Saiyans responded with a coordinated assault, launching energy blasts and performing combo attacks. However, the shadow creature was agile and dodged their attacks with ease.
We can't let this thing get away. Concentrate on attacking together.
You're right, Vegeta. If we fight them as a team, we can overcome anything.
The four Saiyans synchronized their movements, attacking in harmony. Broly unloaded titanic blows. Gohan used his agility and advanced techniques, while Goku and Vegeta coordinated their energies to create a combined assault. Despite their efforts, the shadow creature proved to be resilient and adaptable. It defended with cunning and counterattacked with fury. In a moment of tension, the shadow creature unleashed a dark glow that enveloped its form, transforming to an even more powerful and monstrous version.
It's getting stronger again!
It doesn't matter. I'll destroy it!
The battle intensified as the shadow creature, in its enhanced form, launched waves of dark energy and unleashed more devastating attacks. The Saiyans, however, did not back down. Despite the gravity of the situation, their determination burned stronger than ever.
There's no limit to our strength when we fight together! Come on, guys, we can't lose!
This thing doesn't know who it's messing with. Get ready for what's coming!
Gohan, Broly, Goku, and Vegeta channeled their energies to the maximum, shaking the earth under the intensity of their combined power. In a unified act, the four Saiyans raised their ki to the limit and lunged towards the shadow creature with indomitable resolve. The shadow creature, now in its strengthened form, unleashed a dark energy that enveloped Broly, possessing the mighty Saiyan with a malevolent influence. Broly, his eyes now awash with shadows, stood before the other Saiyans with a menacing presence.
Broly, I won't let you be used as a puppet. We must save him. We won't let this thing manipulate Broly. Come on, guys, let's protect ourselves and save our friend.
This is getting more complicated than I thought. But no matter, we won't let the darkness win.
The battle began with the shadow creature using Broly's immense power against them. The controlled Saiyan's attacks were fierce, with waves of energy and bursts of ki that challenged even the most experienced warriors. The Saiyans dodged and counterattacked, but the shadow creature took advantage of Broly's brute strength to counter his moves.
We must weaken it enough to free Broly! Dad, Vegeta, let's follow the plan and attack in unison!
The three Saiyans coordinated, launching a series of swift and powerful attacks. However, the shadow creature moved with agility, dodging most of the blows and countering with blows of its own. Broly, under the influence of the Dark Possession, was showing superhuman endurance.
It's not enough! Broly, fight against this influence!
We must force him to break free. We're gonna give it our all.
In a moment of desperation, the Saiyans decided to raise their powers to the maximum. Goku transformed into Super Saiyan second stage, Gohan advanced his mystical form, and Vegeta unleashed his own power into Super Saiyan second stage. The three Saiyans surrounded Broly, launching a combination of flurry of powerful attacks.
Broly, resist! Don't let their darkness consume you!
The shadow creature, feeling the combined presence of the three Saiyan warriors, showed signs of weakness. However, in a desperate act, the dark energy intensified its hold on Broly, raising its power even higher and unleashing unbridled fury.
We can't give up! We're going to free Broly, whatever it takes!
The battle reached its climax as the three Saiyan warriors, Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta, clashed against the shadow creature possessing Broly. The unleashed energy created a spectacle of flashes, explosions, and shockwaves that shook the battlefield. Goku, with his power as a Super Saiyan, moved with astonishing speed, launched energy blasts and accurate punches at the shadow creature. Gohan, in his mystical form, unleashed a combination of fast attacks and advanced techniques, seeking to weaken the dark possession that controlled Broly. Vegeta, in his Super Saiyan second phase form, displayed titanic power, coordinating his attacks with calculated precision.
Broly, listen to my voice! Don't be consumed by this darkness!
The shadow creature, however, resisted tenaciously, harnessing Broly's brute strength and ferocity to counter the Saiyan's attacks. Broly, under the Dark Possession, responded with unstoppable strength, his attacks more intense and uncontrolled.
We need to weaken that possession! Come on, guys, keep up the pressure!
This dark power won't last forever. We must resist!
The battle grew more frantic. With each passing moment, the shadow creature, sensing the threat of the Saiyans, intensified its hold on Broly, fusing its dark energy with the brute strength of the legendary Saiyan.
We can't back down now! Broly's our friend, and we won't let this darkness control him!
In a moment of perfect synchronization, the three Saiyans focused their energies into a coordinated attack. Goku launched a Kamehameha, Gohan unleashed a Masenko, and Vegeta fired a final flash, all aimed at the shadow creature. The resulting explosion illuminated the battlefield, creating an energy storm. However, when the light faded, the shadow creature and Broly still stood, visibly weakened but far from defeated.
It's not enough! We must find a way to free Broly from this possession!
At that moment, the shadow creature, taking advantage of the Saiyan's momentary weakness, launched a surprise attack, sending Goku and Gohan to the ground. Vegeta, with his rage in his eyes, stood up determined.
Enough's enough! We won't let this thing continue to manipulate Broly.
Vegeta concentrated his ki to the maximum, unleashing a new transformation. His intense blue aura transformed into an even brighter and more powerful hue.
Super Saiyan Blue!
The atmosphere itself seemed to tremble at the magnitude of the transformation. Vegeta, now in his evolved form, launched himself towards the shadow creature with renewed speed and power. What will happen next? Find out in the next chapter. Well guys, this is all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it and it was to your liking. Now don't forget to leave your powerful like, Supreme God level, comment and subscribe. Now without further ado, see you in a new video. Until next time.